Hi there, welcome to Gray Muzzle Geekery for the week of March 2nd, 2020, episode 42, the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. I'm Dusty Red, and with me as always,
I'm Dusty White.
And let's get into this month's Geek Battle Cry. This month's Geek Battle Cry of thank yous and shoutouts go first to our Patreon supporters, Bada, Chad, Chris, Clay, Delaron, Donna, Matt, Redcoat, Ryan, Silver Gautaman, and Travis.
If you love our logo as much as we do, be sure to visit the To Improve Your Day page on Facebook to see more of Travis's work.
If our intro gets stuck in your head as it does ours, be sure to check out the musician, Pepper Coyote, on Spotify, or you could purchase his work directly from his Bandcamp page.
Also, be sure to check out our greater family of geekery.
If you've enjoyed some of our commissioned art pieces, be sure to check out Quack Quack Honk Designs at www.quackquackhonk.com.
For more geek news, be sure to listen in every Thursday at the Geek Awakens podcast, hosted by Mitch Ladd.
If you enjoy 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, be sure to join DM and friend of the show, Pat Rickert, every Monday night for Loaded Dice Adventures on Twitch.
If you have the need for plastic-dipped weapons for a variety of cosplay or live-action role-playing game needs, be sure to check out the Forge of Wrath page on Facebook.
And finally, if you have miniatures that need painting and want to be the envy of all your friends, who better than our friends at Night Owl Painting? Be sure to check out the Night Owl Painting page, and that's Night with a K, on Facebook.
And as always, if you wish to give us
money!
Find us at patreon.com/graymuzzlegeekery. Help us keep the lights on.
Yeah, and we'll be happy to put your name out there and, yay. Thank you once again, everyone, for letting us do what we like to do. And, of course, let's get into this week's news. News. My Corona. Boo boo doo boo doo boop boop boop. So I guess we really should do our part here and talk about the new fad in communicable diseases, the COVID-19 virus. It's also known as the coronavirus, and, not the Bud Light flu, the Sad Adams syphilis, or even the dreaded Pabst Blue Waffle. Obviously, it's all over the news, and rightly so, as it has been reported to have a 2% mortality rate. In fairness, it's especially dangerous with those with weakened immune systems, the very young and the elderly, but it can still cause complications and respiratory tract illness like pneumonia and bronchitis. Should you be worried, though? Well, a little bit. Transmission between humans happens when someone comes in contact with an infected person's secretions, while generally those are droplets from a cough or a sneeze. So why are we bringing this up, though? Well, it's just to remind everyone that this will pass. Don't panic. Drink lots of water, and wash your damn hands. There's currently no known cure, and if you suspect that you may have it, seek a healthcare provider to ensure it doesn't get worse. At the end of the day, the media will continue to hype this as the next downfall of man, and while the pandemic will have casualties, just remember, don't be dumb and practice proper hygiene.
And to kind of piggyback off of that, claims of the coronavirus hurting Corona's beer sales gives a much-needed lesson in emotional intelligence to the business world. Constellation Brands, which owns Corona, released a statement fighting the notion that recent events have negatively affected the brand. In fact, they've gone on to claim sales are up 5%. CEO Bill Newland went even further to recognize the gravity of the situation and shared some empathy, stating that thoughts and prayers to those affected by this terrible virus and hope efforts to more fully contain it gain traction soon. He goes on to state that it is unfortunate that continued misinformation about the impact of the virus on our business has been circulating without further investigation. These statements do not reflect our performance and consumer sentiment. The simple statement is a PR masterpiece, including the emotional intelligence that allows a company to influence how others feel about your brand. By fighting back with some data of its own, Constellation Brands attempted to separate myth from reality and kill the stereotypes in the process. I mean, I know we just kind of poked fun at it, but what do you think?
People are dumb. We've already established that. People are dumb. I mean, sales went up 5% because it's probably frat guys and other dude bros like, haha, I got Corona. And like, like you're sitting there like, oh, you want Corona too? Like, so you can see that. Like, dad jokes and other dumb things. I mean, yeah, it's good that they're bringing it to light as well of being like, hey, don't believe everything you read and hear in media, and don't believe such things because everybody just, I don't know, people are dumb. I don't know how else to emphasize that. Like, individuals are cool. People as a whole, like groups of people, are dumb.
I just, it kind of ties into the whole fake news and all that kind of jazz, that people are just spreading things without, including viruses, but they're spreading things without actually doing the research. Why? Like, I would imagine Corona doesn't want to be named after the next fad, just like no baby born in 1992 wanted to be named after a hurricane or have a hurricane named after them. Whatever.
All you Sandys and Katrinas out there.
But as far as the business world is concerned, this CEO kind of calls it out, call it call out culture, but it goes and tells you, don't be dumb. Don't believe everything you read just because it's there. Make sure you're investigating. It could have really had a drastic effect on Corona, and that's just not fair. That's not fair to put that company in jeopardy and those people that work for that company in jeopardy too.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it's the joys of social media and the joys of mass media to be able to go, what used to be a rumor, like your dad would say, to be like, oh, I think Timmy has smallpox, is now blown up to Facebook. Yeah. Like, you go Facebook level of, oh, Timmy has smallpox, and now thousands of people know, rather than the 5 people around the neighborhood that goes, does Timmy have smallpox? And then they find out now because it's on Facebook, it's Facebook official. It must happen. Timmy has smallpox. Like, calm down. People are dumb. Social media. Yeah, I know. We are a form of social media currently, but come on, people.
Netflix is a joke. No, really. It's hoping you will also think so. The industry streaming leader is now breaking into the comedy festival scene. They are bringing out a stable of laugh riots from their Netflix comedy special lineup, such as Ali Wong, Bill Burr, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart, and David Letterman. Ted Sarandos, Netflix chief content officer, states, "It's our honor to transform LA for 1 week into the funniest place on earth." Heading the event will be a stand-up performance by Dave Chappelle, a showcase of LGBTQ plus comedians led by Wanda Sykes, Rosie O'Donnell, and Margaret Cho, and the star-studded event concludes with a special event that will honor comedy legends like George Carlin, Joan Rivers, Richard Pryor, and of course, both of our favorite, Robin Williams.
I mean, yay.
I personally like Netflix as a streaming agent for comedy. I know we personally have watched several comic specials.
I mean, yeah, it reminds me of one of those things where you hear at what point is a special no longer a special, because everybody has a special now and has multiple specials. But at the same time, any access to more comedy and to have comedians be able to not have to do what they used to do of go through something like HBO and need the super glitz and glam and the huge backing to be able to get a show for HBO Saturday night at 7 o'clock, the big airing of a thing. Now you could go ahead and have comedians with smaller budgets and lesser known comedians go out there and be able to put together these specials that are accessible, at any time, thanks to Netflix and such. So if anything, it's more advertising for those comedians. It's more marketability. It's more people wanting to go see them live and go see what else they have to put out and such. So,
I was gonna say, I think I enjoy the fact that Netflix, because it is so accessible, as you said, it tends to push artists to be more fresh. If you've got a Netflix special, you've signed a contract deal, you know that you've only got maybe a year or some change of using that material. You got to already turn around and kind of be working on your next special's worth of material. And therefore you gain that traction and you don't end up with like a Dane Cook situation where once he is done traveling the United States. He told
all his jokes and cashed in and he deuces.
Right. So, I mean, even one of my favorite comics, Eliza, has half a dozen Netflix specials, and each one are unique enough and actually can watch her evolve into a stronger and funnier comic because she's kind of signed these deals.
And don't discredit those other comedians that exist outside that world, where you have those like Jay Leno, who basically has the same, from what I've heard, has the same routine that's been polished over the last like 20 years. And he does that routine. That's his shtick. That's his thing. Carrot Top, who is in Vegas. These other like, you come to see me type performers, rather than, hey, I'm on TV and I'm on this. And
I'm touring.
I'm touring. I'm coming to your house. You have these comedians like, no, I'm here. If you want to see what I do, come to me. It's a bold move, but at the same time, it's a still unique style in of itself, where it's one of those things of, you know, you could have a comedian that spits out a comedy bit every year, and maybe they are better, and in some cases maybe they're not. I haven't seen the latest Bill Burr one, Paper Tiger or something. I think it was the last one, but there was one right before that was just meandering and kind of like definitely in his own head type stuff, but a lot of those jokes he also used on his podcast that I was able to identify right away and was like, all right, whatever, sure. So, you know, you do, it's just because you put one out every year doesn't mean you're funnier every year. Eliza, she's got away with, I can't say got away, but she's gotten better and stronger in that regard. But at the same time, even that one, she got a little preachy on than the latest one.
I mean, she's changed. She's not the
like confirmed kills is still her best.
Oh, I'll definitely agree with that.
But that was what, 2 specials ago. So
yeah.
So
yeah.
One a year, does that always prove as a benefit, or does it come into a case of are they just being prolific to fill out the contract, or be prolific for prolific's sake?
Look, I just enjoy the fact that Netflix is kind of poking fun at its own self because they can't throw a crime documentary festival. Like, I mean, I guess they
could. Can you imagine a party bag for that too? Pair of gloves.
Cup of luminol.
Everything's going blue tonight. And so while we're sort of done away with the gray muzzle graveyard section of our podcast here, it is important to note the passing of the creator and host of Inside the Actor Studio, James Lipton. He passed away on March 2nd, 2020 at the age of 93 of bladder cancer. While he did start landing television parts as far back as 1951, he did go on to write for a variety of Broadway musicals like Nowhere to Go But Up in 1962, and even a book in 1968 titled An Exaltation of Larks. However, he really became known for his outstanding interviews of Hollywood stars in Inside the Actor Studio, which first aired in June of 1994, interviewing the one and only Alec Baldwin. The show has had star-studded list of interviews from Dave Chappelle, Bradley Cooper, and, of course, one of our personal favorites, Robin Williams.
I would say that between Robin Williams, I think he did one with Kevin Smith.
Yep.
Those are the ones that stick out in my mind as really well done interviews. Like top tier like, I hate to compare him, but kind of almost Barbara Walters without the 2020
Oh, for sure.
crime spin or something.
And with him being an actor himself, I'm very familiar with actors and their methods and stuff. And like the way he answered or he asked questions and like made the characters or the actors kind of play characters or do different voices and kind of entertain. Because that's the thing too.
His one with Hank Azaria is really good too.
Yeah, and one of the ones I was reading earlier was like one of his top 10 was like with the Simpsons cast. Where he talked about their voices, and bear in mind, too, there was also an audience there that were film students. So you had people like that were going to be actors or producers or directors, and just a class full of people who were deeply invested in Hollywood and into movie making and acting and all that other stuff. So it not only served as a teaching exercise for everybody, but also was entertainment as well. And I think that's where it really shone was, yeah, he had Robin Williams up there. And who doesn't want to sit and talk to Robin Williams? But to do it in a manner to still be teaching, to still ask questions that would allow Robin to expound upon his past, but expound upon the lessons that he learned along the way and what made him a better actor and what made him gravitate towards comedy and then move away from comedy and do more serious roles and stuff. So it's just a really cool show that I watched often, way too often, a lot of reruns, and even every now and then, like, I'll still find myself on YouTube. I'll go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and see, like, an old interview and just be like, holy crap, this is a really good show.
And it makes me think of the fact that a lot of interviews now are so kind of hapdash, you're on a circuit, you're interview they basically sit a actress down, you're on a basically movie circuit interview thing, and you just got
5 minutes tops.
Yeah, you got interviewer after interviewer after interviewer for what Hollywood Reporter, what blah 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 blah. Same 20 questions maybe, but the fact that
unless you're on Hot Ones. Then you get a whole different set of questions.
But that's what I was getting to that is you almost have a genre or a generation of actors and actresses that don't know what it is to be interviewed properly. Sean Evans does a really good job of kind of hitting some of those questions out of the park. And I wonder if ever given the chance, if that's a correlation you could make with Sean. It'd be like, was Inside Actor Studio kind of an inspiration for you? Did you get some of your questions from that? Did you get your cadence?
The concepts of the questions, at least.
Right, your cadence, your concept, your let me do my research. Because I think that's one of the best things that Inside Actor Studio did is it really dug in and gave you questions that you kind of had to be built up for and be like, okay, well, you started here and you did this and then you ended here. And then you make the person expound on it. I personally, as a strong interviewer like myself, really enjoy watching that and feeling like that person is really trying to get to know you.
And this concludes this week's news. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our adventures and all the adventures that await. Adventure awaits!
So, if anybody follows along with our Twitter, I think about a week or so ago, I threw up an interesting Twitter poll, which Red over here kind of got mad at me because I
get mad.
I kind of made it sound like we disagreed on something before we really got to test it or talk about it.
I just look at my phone and see your co-hosts have got into an argument about Arbys versus McDonald's, the Shamrock Shake debate. And I look and go, excuse me, we didn't even talk about this yet. Where's the debate coming from?
So I personally am a fan of Arby's. I like their curly fries, but I've always been a fan of their shakes, specifically their Jamocha shake. However, I decided to try their it's not dark chocolate, but it's chocolate mint chocolate.
Which is already a strike against Arby's. Because when you go and get a Shamrock Shake, you are ordering a Shamrock Shake. When you go to Arby's and get their version of a Shamrock Shake, you have to order a mint chocolate chip, super decker, blah, 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 Arby's Shake. Don't got time for that.
So, barring Arby's not having some weird alliteration of Shamrock Shake that they only serve in the month of March because for the first 14 days or 17 days of March are pre-St. Patty's Day. So they get to have vanilla shakes dyed green with a taste
minty.
of mint.
They're dyed green with a taste of mint.
They're like
mint flavoring.
No, they're like toothpaste mint flavor. So, barring anything, so we ended up having this discussion or this debate, then test tasting it, and then actually having the debate because as stated earlier. The Arby's mint chocolate shake is superior.
Okay, see, here's what the problem is, though. And I've said it in the past, that I do firmly believe that we as humans aren't dog people or cat people. Like, we are both. Everybody's like, oh, I just like dogs, I just like cats. No. We like both, and we actually have a tendency of relating to both. And I say this because I try to have a very cat brain when I go order, which means there's going to be some sort of order, there's going to be some sort of, some rules and rhythm to what is going on. And so I go and drive to McDonald's, and I see, oh, Shamrock Shakes are back, and I have to remember, okay, me and dairy, and especially whatever fake dairy product Shamrock Shakes are, do not get along. Like, my stomach is not up. Like, there is a reason why Shamrock Shakes and McRibs aren't sold at the same time. There's no plumbing system in America that could handle whatever concoction the Shamrock shits were gonna spit out. However, I realized, okay, I really want a Shamrock Shake, and I know it'd be a good idea if I could soak it up with like a regular hamburger. So it's a nice, easy order, you know. Regular hamburger, a small order of fries, and a small Shamrock Shake. Repeat it over and over to myself. Small Shamrock Shake, small fry, regular hamburger. And I pull up to the frickin' order window, and you hear that lovely voice of, hi there, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? And that's when the cat brain, like, gets thrown away, and the dog brain just like, extra large Shamrock Shake, please. 2 double cheeseburgers. And, of course, the cat brain has to go. And a small fry. So, needless to say, I was very excited to get my Shamrock Shake, the superior shake compared to the Arby's chocolate pile of minty pretend goop. And so we have our strong views, which I did not think I was going to have a strong view about it. I was very open-minded. Was I not?
You were.
We were like, okay, let's try this. So we went over to the McDonald's by my place, picked up a small Shamrock Shake, and then drove over to the Arby's and picked up a small Arby's chocolate mint shake. We needed something for that. Help them out.
Mint chocolate chip shake.
But they need something short and sweet.
That's it. That's the name. You can't.
Too long of a name. Okay.
Which one looked better?
So I've had plenty of Shamrock Shakes, and I had only the one mint shake. So for comparing that one time, the Arby's shake did look better. Mainly because for a small, it was bigger than the Shamrock Shake. Mm-hmm. And it did have the swirl of chocolate drizzle. And the crumbled up Andes candy on top.
Exactly.
Now, the Shamrock Shake that we got like a day or two ago had a nice green drizzle all the way through, which is something I've never seen before, and was really freaking excited.
Which they're just trying to keep up, clearly.
They've succeeded.
So apparently, also to add to this, which we didn't know at the time, it happens to be the 50th year anniversary of the Shamrock Shake. And to coincide with that, McDonald's has actually made, I think, a handful of gold-encrusted shake cups with diamonds and emeralds in them. Obviously, one's being auctioned off. All proceeds will be given to the Ronald McDonald House. But if you happen to, in the month of March, order a St. Shamrock Shake through the McDonald's app, you too can be entered into a chance to win
It's a
golden crusted
$90,000 Shamrock
gaudy
cup.
shake cup.
And I don't hear Arby's doing anything about it. Like,
Because they don't have to.
oh, they need to. They need to get more incentive for people to buy their. So obviously you like the Arby's shake. All jokes aside, what is it about the Arby's shake that you like?
I believe it doesn't lead. There's something to be said about the mint flavoring in both of them. I think the Shamrock Shake happens to leave more of a thick, sticky film on your tongue.
We both agreed on that. It definitely leaves the mouth going. Nom, 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 nom.
I think mostly I think ultimately it can be drizzled down to, if you like chocolate, you're going to like Arby's. If you don't like chocolate or you're a bigger fan of vanilla, you're going to like Shamrock Shake. It's almost too different of flavor profiles.
But there was a little bit of an aftertaste I couldn't figure out with the Arby's shake.
It was less. It's less artificial and more clean.
No, it left a almost peanut or pretzel or salty.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were getting that from.
I don't know either. I just, for whatever reason, it left more of a salty note in the back of the throat. No, I like. We're children.
One of us is.
Both of us. But there's I don't know, something a little bit more salty about it than the Shamrock Shake. And obviously the Shamrock Shake is more of a vanilla with a mint flavor added, where the Arby's shake was a more defined chocolate mint shake or mint chocolate shake. Like, there was more chocolate to it. There was more of that. So, I mean...
Thank you for those that helped vote, and Arby's did end up winning.
I think there's just a lot of McDonald's haters out there. That's the problem. It's easy to hate on, like, it's the same reason why people hate the Yankees or to hate the Patriots. Like, it's easy to hate the
You
champions.
hate the Patriots.
I do. Well, because it's easy.
So, kind of to go along with that day's adventure, we ended up at a not really local, but sort of local brewery.
It's in Illinois someplace still.
But tell me about your first impressions of Halestorm.
Well, we were there for a concert night or something. So Halestorm Brewery looked like...
That's right, it was Mardi Gras.
It was Mardi Gras. So they had a live band going on. So it did alter the expectations a little bit because it was very busy and very loud. They had a really cool selection of beers. The establishment itself was your run-of-the-mill, like, stamped, I guess, low-pollution industrial zone.
Yeah.
So, again, it's kind of like with 8-Bit Brewery and Scale and Feather, or Feather and Scale, where it's like, oh, there's a brewery here, and then there's, like, a mini law firm, and then, like, a kids' trapeze taekwondo dance class or something. And then, like, another brewery. And so it's, like, in that very, like, open area that's...
It was probably one of the larger breweries that we've gone to, minus Lagunitas, which I don't really necessarily count because it's a more mass-produced.
Yeah, they had a large amount of space. It looked like it was maybe 2 buildings in one, the amount of space that they rented. Because it looked like there was, like, a partition in the unit itself that allowed you to split between, like, 2 separate storage areas of beer. They had a pretty big selection of stuff, although like 3 or 4 of them was just straight up their, was it their double imperial or their imperial?
Yeah, their heavy IPA.
IBV.
Yeah.
It wasn't IPA.
I thought it was.
It wasn't IPA what you had.
No, mine was.
That's what I'm saying.
They
had like, it was one brand of it. It was like an imperial.
A lumberjack latte and then like a lumberjack
Yeah, but
dessert.
what was the lumberjack stuff? It was an imperial stout, I thought.
I think you're right. Porter.
Oh, was it a big porter?
Yeah.
Either way, it was like a 13. It was like a 13 or 14%.
Yeah, it was the heavy APV.
So they had like, but it was one type of that, but like done 4 different ways. Because one of them had the coffee, one of them had like maple syrup in there. So it's the same base
Right.
porter, but just different kind of flavor. So that took up some of the bar or some of the menu. And then there was like 3 or 4 IPAs because it's a microbrew and that's what you do. And that was kind of it. They had a red.
They had a red. It was a canned red. That was what your sister had.
My sister had. And then I had their... I can't remember now. Huh. Anyway.
The little to know that this one didn't really strike our fancy for the day. Like, again, with it being as busy, we didn't get a chance to talk, really. It was loud. A band was playing. It
also didn't have a theme.
Yeah.
We talked about that really a little bit,
didn't.
too. It did, like, it's neat to see when you go to places that have a theme or has it set up. This place was very... I don't want to say
almost
it wasn't set up.
blank slate.
Yeah, it was very blank slate. Even the logo and stuff just kind of had like a pinball feel to it type thing. So maybe it's something they'll have. Maybe they'll expound on it. But you kind of walked in. It was brightly lit, which is also kind of weird for like breweries and stuff. Like, and probably again because of the band, because they had food there and everything else, more of a party atmosphere. But it was cool. Something I'd like to try again in the future and maybe get a different taste for it. But for first impressions, it was an all right place.
Mm-hmm. And then we moved down the way less than, I think, 4 or 5 minutes in total.
I was like a quarter mile away.
We went to Soundgrowler.
Soundgrowler, and again, in Tinley Park, Illinois. Soundgrowler now had everything that you're looking for in terms of atmosphere. Where they had kind of the skulls, and they had kind of a heavy metal vibe going on, but it wasn't too loud. Little dimmer lit. A good selection of beers. And oh my God, secret tacos. Am I wrong? Secret tacos.
No, secret tacos did make for a great night.
Like, we didn't, I'm going to go as far as to say it's probably some of the, probably top 10 best tacos I've ever had in my life.
They were fantastic, and surprisingly so.
It was... You walk in, and you don't even see, you got the wooden slats above the bar, and it's like, oh, here's your beers. And again, they have 5 or 6 IPAs and a few other drinks that are...
I liked that they've had the farmhouse ales. The stuff that was a little bit unfiltered.
Yeah.
Something that has some bite to it.
But then, by the, when you go past the bar towards the bathrooms, there's another door, a little register there. And, a pallet above the door that's painted... to have tacos, burritos, nachos, and tortas.
Yep.
And here you go, tacos. And we're like, wait, and our my sister and her boyfriend were like, yeah, no, they have really, really freaking good tacos. And so for $10, 3 tacos, rice, beans,
steak tacos.
Yeah, steak taco, carne asada.
Yep.
So it's 3 carne asada tacos, rice, beans, chips, and salsa. For $10. And done in a couple minutes. And absolutely fantastic freaking tacos. Secret tacos. Not even expecting it. The little hole in the wall. Not even advertising the fact that hey, we're big on our tacos. Oh my God. Secret bar tacos saved my life.
The beers were good. I had a farmhouse ale that was really good. And then their O'Leary's red.
Right.
And yeah, it was just a really good atmosphere. Again, something that had a theme. Their stickers look like a Guns N' Roses album cover.
Yep.
I really enjoy a lot of these places having the mug clubs or the beer club, the beer club. It wasn't advertised. But again, when you turned that corner towards the register to buy the secret tacos, you saw this
collection of mugs.
Well, no. It was the locker.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a locker. And then I was kind of curious about it, but I didn't say anything. And later on in the evening, when I was up ordering my second round, here's a guy that's up ahead of me, walks to the lockers, opens up a locker, pulls out a skull glass mug, and then gets in line. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know that you've always got your mug there, and you get a discount or something.
And I'm sure, it's either a discount or you get just, if those, you get 16-ounce pours, but those mugs might be like 20-ounce mugs.
Right.
So you'll actually get an extra 4 ounces of beer for free, basically, like you pay for your 16.
Right.
So it's a place that I definitely would like to go to again, without a doubt. One of those places I will take some friends in the near future, just because it's really good beer and it's really good food. The only downside is it's a little bit of a haul for me, probably 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
About 25-minute drives. So obviously it limits the amount of drinks I can have because 25-minute drive.
But no, very worth it. If anybody out that way that listens, be sure to check it out or put it on your list soon to check it out.
Yeah, so again, it's Halestorm Brewery and Soundgrowler Brewery, both in Tinley Park, Illinois.
And we'll continue our culinary adventures for that weekend. We ended up going towards the city that next day. And we had a friend of ours that was getting set up with their own first tattoo, as we've recently done ours. Red's done his. So they were getting their set up for their first tattoo, and we went in and checked it out and witnessed the first couple of lines being done.
I love it when they're just like, that's not bad. That's okay. That's not bad. Yeah, that's okay.
But a little after that, we decided to piece, because booth only handles so many people. And we
wanted wings.
We wandered towards Wrigleyville, of all places.
It killed my soul.
But we ended up on a street that had a place called Output Bar, or was it?
It's Output Sports Lounge.
Okay.
And they had all sorts of signs as like best wings in town, best wings in Wrigleyville, and best wings in Chicago. And I'm like, all right, let's put this to the test. God damn, they weren't wrong. I was a little mad. I kind of wanted to be like, you guys are full of crap. So the fried pickles were a little weird, though.
Those were the first fried pickles I've ever had that were the sandwich
stacker style.
Sandwich stacker slices.
Sliced thin, long way.
I've had the wedges, and of course, most places have the chips.
The pickle chips.
Still think the top of the food chain for pickles are Silver Beach.
Well, they kind of have like a special double batter thing going on.
Yeah, they're still the best. So we had the pickles first, but man, did those wings because we prefer boneless,
right?
And a lot of the time, boneless wings are just chunks of.
It's typically inferior meat for sure.
Yeah, they're not as well taken care of as the wings, like the bone-in are. But man, Output was great because you could tell by eating them they took care of the chicken first.
So the only marks against them is the fact that the sauces were nothing too crazy special. It was buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
So I guess positive marks for that, but it was very clearly like your standard stick of butter bottle of Frank's, and there's your buffalo sauce. So it was good, reliable buffalo sauce. But as Dusty mentioned, the wings themselves, super tender, super juicy. The breading on there was thinner.
Yeah.
But it coated it fully and had a nice crunch to it, even soaked in sauce. It was still not chunks of breading, but it was a nice even coating all the way around. Yeah. It
pains him to say this. He really pains him to say this.
Yeah, because I have to go back into Wrigleyville if I want to go get more. But, seriously, all jokes aside, props to Output. And this is Output in Wrigleyville in Chicago. And they really do have some crazy wings. They are a little on the pricey side, though.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
They're not 50-cent wings on Buffalo Wild Wings Tuesday night.
No, let's not mention that place. Buffalo Wild Wings pissed me off more than enough times. They used to have their wing days where you get like 60-cent wings, and they stopped that. Then it's like, oh, you could buy one get one free. It's like, cool. I'll take a small, and then a free small to go. And they're like, oh, it has to be in store. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Bye. So I haven't eaten at Buffalo Wild Wings since. Like they disappoint me. They're Buffalo Sad Wings. That's what they are.
So to kind of piggyback off of that, because they were really hot wings, recently, this past, just recently, we went to Supernatural.
And this one's in Michigan.
Ann Arbor?
No, it wasn't Ann Arbor, but it's near Ann Arbor. Lavia?
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 We're gonna get yelled at.
Look, they got places like Saginaw and Tuckawaga, and like them in Wisconsin got like these weird names. So, but yeah, so Supernatural Brewery, it's a neat place to say the least. I think we had a little trouble when we first came in because they were freshly brewing up some beer, so the wort was heavy in the air.
I think that's the first time I've ever walked into a brewery and had it smell like a brewery.
Well, and the thing is it's low ceilings.
Oh,
We are used to walking into these like breweries that are big high ceilings and fans and ventilations. This place looked like probably once upon a time was just a little restaurant.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, it's a single
Mom
floor. Mom and pop type stop. So when they're, dumping out these bags of all their ingredients to make beer, the odor just lingers. It just sits over everything. So it definitely had that wort, that earthy, very earthy.
Here be brew.
Here be beer. It's really hung over everything, and it made tasting the beers a little difficult. On top of the fact that I'm still fighting a cold. So it's not Corona. Calm down. But I'm still fighting a cold, so it was difficult to taste anything anyway.
Because you just kind of had that smell.
That smell was over. Anything even the wings I had, like that smell was just in your face. So that was the only negative really mark against the place.
However, they did have really hot wings, hot enough that Red could only take like maybe 3 or 4. Yeah,
well, they have like medium and hot, right?
Yeah, mild and hot.
And normally we're good at like hot wings. Like
right.
Original hot is Frank's Red Hot sauce. Like,
right, exactly.
This was like 3 in and I was sweating. Like 4 in and I could smell the wort again because my sinuses cleared. They were uncomfortable hot.
I had a interesting beer that was called the Beggar's Stout.
And they only allowed you like a 5-ounce glass.
Yeah, I tried to order it because it was, again, I don't mean to, but I seem to always pick out the one with the highest ABV. I promise you I'm not like seeking that out.
Yeah, you are.
But
you're a glutton for pain, you know it.
So I ordered one for Red, which he'll talk about in just a second, which was a 16 ounce. And then I was like, oh, and can I get this one in 16 ounce? And they were like, oh no.
Yeah.
We only serve that in like the tester size of glasses. So it was a small 5 ounce and it was really good though.
It was also like 15% or something, but it was
so good. What was the one you ended up getting?
So mine was like a lemon, it was called Lem Brulee.
That's right.
And it was like a lemon sour with like a honey, like a vanilla honey finish. It was one of the weirdest sours I ever had. Because normally sour beers are kind of fruit and kind of a little hoppy on the back sometimes. This kind of tasted like a lemon pie almost, where there was a creaminess to it that I wasn't expecting, and like a sweetness to the sourness. Like it started sour and then finished like really creamy, and again like a creme brulee. So it was good, but super different and super. And again, I wonder how much of it was just the odor of the
wort
of the other ingredients in the air that might have messed up my senses a bit. And again, me fighting a cold and stuff. But that is another place I wouldn't mind trying again to really try out that Lem Brulee again, because it was It was bizarre.
I had a
but it was good.
snozberry parfait as well, which was another fruited sour.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
And that was, I would bring that home for sure.
I would definitely, if I go back, I would definitely do the snozberries taste like snozberries.
So to kind of also talk about some other podcasts that we're going to be on here come the future, we ended up doing or guesting on
TV Travis.
Yeah, TV Travis's Wait You Haven't Seen. And
we know Travis from the America's Next Top Podcaster contest. We were teammates for the first couple weeks, and then weren't for like a week, and then got put back together again. So, but we, like he does his show called Wait You Haven't Seen, a podcast about finding people who haven't seen movies that
are really kind of iconic or at least memorable.
Everybody has that friend where you're like, oh yeah, I like this movie, and you're like, I'll be honest with you, I've never seen it, and you're just like, wait, you haven't seen? And so that's the whole concept of the show.
And we were asked to be on it, and we were trying to come up with a movie that we hadn't seen, which is pretty much all of them for Red. But I happen to be more of a movie connoisseur, but wanted to pick something that maybe, obviously that I hadn't seen and something that Red would at least enjoy. So I ended up picking Baby Driver. And I have a few friends that love this movie and will do nothing but talk your ear off of it about it for, 30 minutes. And just knew that it was about music and knew that it was about fast cars. And that's really all I remember about it.
Well, and if you would like to hear our takes and our views on it, and, not going to get into it here, go over to TV Travis's site. We'll have a link in the description of this podcast below. Once it uploads. I think they release also the same day this show does. Mm-hmm. So when the notes come out, I will make a point to retweet it on Twitter. I will update this show's notes somewhere in the bottom and have the link on there as well. And then obviously check us on Facebook and, wherever else on Patreon, and especially on Patreon. Please help us. No, okay. But I'll be sure to update the links and stuff so you could actually find our little foray on as guests on another podcast.
Yeah, listen to your hosts. More
or less hijack his show.
Rap poetically about certain things that we experienced watching the movie.
It was actually kind of funny when we were done too. We both kind of looked at each other and were like, "Man, us together is a handful for anybody that has to play host.
Try to host us.
Because you and I are so used to working with each other that like we just started bouncing back and forth, and poor Travis is like, yeah, and what about this? Fox
knows this. So to kind of wrap up this adventure awaits, we're gonna
we've had a busy last 2 weeks. We got kind of swamped with some stuff ever since the convention.
Yeah,
we kind of had our.
We've already been catching up with it.
Yeah, we've been just full nonstop.
So this happened to bringing up TV Travis kind of segues great into the upcoming adventure that we have this Friday, where we are going to get the chance to meet our America's Next Top Podcasters host, Brian Ibbott, live in Chicago, while he comes in for his yearly trivia challenge that he'll be on Saturday, but he always meets up with people and fellow Frog Pants Network people on the night before.
And he specifically said no Malort.
Yes. Multiple times, no Malort. So he's going to be out at headquarters, the Beercade, and we are going to poke our heads in and introduce ourselves face to face and see where the night takes us.
That's going to be an adventure that's going to be the definition of adventure awaits.
So again, if you're in Chicago and happen to listen to this episode before that, feel free to hit us up and see if you can enjoy the adventure with us.
And again, you could probably find us on Discord. Again, show notes, and you could find a link to Discord, and easiest way to contact us is through there. We're almost always kind of keeping an eye on it, so who knows? You might get lucky and get to talk to your hosts.
And that kind of wraps us up so we can try to keep Red's voice intact for one day at a time here. So we'll wrap up as we always do. These were great adventures and shows our passions. And we are all geeks. To be otherwise may very well mean to live without that passion. Thank you.
Night.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Gray Muzzle Geekery with Dusty Red and Dusty White.
You can support our continued geekery at our Patreon website, patreon.com/graymuzzlegeekery. Be sure to check back often as we start to add geek cred levels.
You can send your questions and comments to us at graymuzzlegeekery@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at graymuzzlegeek.
We can be found on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and Buzzsprout.
And a special thank you to Pepper Coyote for our intro theme. And if you like what you heard, you can find more of his stuff on Spotify, Patreon, or directly from his Bandcamp page.